Of course, it is interesting what the ENOP has done so far, EU-Africa relations, some of the migration topics, enlargement issues and others, and I think these all are very crucial for developing the activities of European Union. Of course, my own interest comes very much from the development perspective. I'm looking currently at the radicalization, terrorism, migration over Mediterranean, how to go to the roots of the problems, human rights and democracy in the Northern African countries. And I think it's very important that political foundations together address these issues and challenges for Europe. Of course, the key challenge for political foundations here in Europe, first of all, is the cooperation, coordination, the funding issues, of course, that they should be supported by the European Commission. But also, if you look inside the Europe, are the new rising political movements, right-wing, even non-democratic movements in many of the European Union member states. And of course, the whole issue of advancing democracy in fragile states or in development countries. And there again, the radicalization challenges are coming quite strong. If you look at the next elections of Somalia, the risk of the Muslim Brotherhood type of the movements, non-democratic practices, all this exists very much around our continent. Coming from Finland and as a background, a Minister for Development Cooperation, we have always been active on supporting the women's rights, supporting the democratic rights, human rights in these countries. And of course, very often when meeting the citizen activists in many countries, I pose the question that what is the, let's say, the biggest environmental problem or biggest social problem, and usually people refer immediately to the human rights and the freedom of expression, because if there is not freedom of expression, you cannot advance any other rights in this society. And for that reason, the very basic human rights, freedom of expression and organizing movements and political parties, taking part to elections is very, very crucial. Well, I think when looking generally the European Union and Africa relationship, my feeling very often is that in Addis Ababa in African Union headquarters, the readiness is there. They are ready to work with the European Union not only with the peace processes but on environment and on women's rights, and they are always asking when is Europe ready to come along. So I think we have to put our own house in order and really start active cooperation from here. But then looking what can be done exactly in the peace processes, I think the issue very often in the peace negotiations is that rebel movements or different parties in the peace processes, we recommend them elections that test your support in the electoral processes. And then these people are asking what are elections and how to organize yourself for the elections. And very often those who are negotiating in the peace talks do not have themselves any experience of being a candidate, putting up a political party. And in that moment I see actually the support from political foundations, support from political parties, peer support is very, very crucial. And for me, it's so easy in Darfur to say, well, I have been establishing a political party in my own country. I have been running campaigns. I have been elected. So this is how you do it. And people believe, of course, when you have the practical experience. But if there is a diplomat who say, what is it theoretically to take part in the elections, it's a totally other story. Or how to fund a campaign, which is also crucial in these circumstances.